Yeah, here's my vlog for the 24th of May 2022. 3. I kind of slept in today. Currently it's 4:55. It's Wednesday. Um, yeah, I was working until like sunrise. No, I was working past sunrise. I was working until like 7:30. So then when I fell asleep, I was like out, and then I slept until like 3:30. And I forgot to turn the lights on. I should have turned the lights on when I went to sleep, because most of the day went by without my lights on. My plants don't like that, and I don't think my birds like that, or my ferrets. But or maybe my roommate. I don't know. But I've got plants in my room that I bought more than a year ago for the outside, and they're still there. So yesterday, for the last 2 days, I was hanging out with my mom. I went on a walk and stuff, hanging with her yesterday. She actually came over yesterday, and we were cleaning and hanging out together. She and then took me to the store for an energy drink. And then I rode my bike there to get another one and some chips. But the work that I was doing yesterday was I'm still working on the sidebar. It's really time consuming. If I had started over, maybe I would have looked for another font that would fit completely inside of a 20 pixel icon, but I settled on a font called Apple something. Maybe it says it here. Apple Symbols. And, you know, I like it because it's kind of hard to find the perfect font because they're either too big or too small, but at the smallest pixel is 6 pixels. So, yeah, it was a good font because it was like clear, concise. But it's just maybe slightly too big, but that doesn't really matter because you know what color it is based on the color. So, I mean, what number it is based on the color. So the important thing is to have the numbers in the front so you can see them, so you know which thousands you're in. And so when I first built it, I kind of built it in the middle where you couldn't really see the front of the number, and it was like, oh shit, it didn't look right. So then I had to go in again, and they're not all organized exactly the same, because when you click on it to type it, you know, you don't click on the same exact location. And so when you adjust them, you can't adjust them all together. But the cool thing about Photoshop is you can just hold down the shift key, and whatever you click, that way is the one that gets moved. So you just would click the ones that I want, and I move them, and just micro adjusting them so that you can see them all. And you can't maybe see them all at first, or it's not like feng shui. You can't see the entire letter on the right side, even, but you don't have to. All you know is that it's a side. So anyways, I think it works. The way that I design my website is, I'll build it however I think is the best way. To utilitarian, and then I just use it, and and if something bothers me, if something annoys me, then obviously I have to change it. But if nothing bothers me, there's never an issue never comes up, then obviously I built it right the first time. And so that's how I think this is going to work out. I don't think it's going to come up with any issues. And so the way I designed it, even if it's a little bit bigger than the pixel, I think is good, because at least you can see the letters bigger, and you don't even need to know the end, because you know what number the colors mean. So anyways, but this morning as I was going in, and I had to there were lots of problems. I had to re-batch edit the whole 2000s, because when I opened them all at once. And at one point in Photoshop said, do you want to like merge the cells or whatever? And I was like, all right, whatever, just open it. So I said yes. And I guess it merged it because the computer was tired. I was trying to open too many at the same time or whatever. And so it merged them. So then I noticed they were merged, and I needed to edit it. And I was like, well, open it back up. But it like permanently fused them together. It's like, that's fucked up, because when I want to fuse it all together, that's when I turn it into a PNG. So anyways, I had to rebuild it from the 3000s and then batch edit it, which takes like 4 minutes procedure just to batch edit one number, change one number on 100 different layers. So I had to do that 10 times. It was like an hour, when I was watching movies. And so I built that and I uploaded 2000s again. I put it in. And then there was another problem that I made. Like, I'm a loopy ass motherfucker. Like, I can build this stuff, but I have to rebuild it. Like, when I had to split up these images because they were too long for Flickr, I was breaking them apart, like the 1 through 10, at different places each time because I'm so loopy. So I was having to, after they uploaded, I had to go into Flickr and crop them down because I included too much. I included, like, if it was the 600s, I would include 600. It would start with 600. It wouldn't start with 601. 600 belongs to the 500s, not the 600s. And so that's the kind of stuff you do when you're not really paying attention to what you're doing, because you're like listening. I was listening to my China book and I was watching movies. So I had to go into Flickr and crop it down. But the problem is it's only 20 pixels wide. So you can barely even see what you're cropping because you can't zoom it in to crop it down on Flickr. You can only do that with Photoshop. So I was just like guessing. And luckily I got it right every time. But then there was another problem that came up that I noticed today. And it was something that I was going to fix, but I spaced it. And it's when I did the batch edits on all of these, because I built them all with batch edit from the other one. So when I would back at like 5,000 turned into 6,000, every 50 turns into a 60, right? But the problem with that is now something that was 5,050, now it's 6,060, not 6,050 like it's supposed to be. Now it's 6,060. So every 10, it's got the wrong number because it did that. You couldn't exclude that from the batch edit, and I didn't, and I forgot to fix that manually. So I uploaded them all to Flickr, and then I'm looking at Photoshop here because it was just this last one that I had to do a batch edit on, and I saw it. Actually, I didn't see it. I saw it on my webpage that I made, and I was like, oh fuck, it's like that for everyone, isn't it? So I have to go in. I have to open up 100 of these files. Oh my God, I have to do it 1,000 times because it's 10,000, but it's 1/10 of 10,000. Yeah, so 1,000 times I have to open up 100 of these files, and 10 times in each file, I have to go in every 10 and I have to fix that one number because of the batch edit. So that's what I have to do today, and then I have to re-upload it, but I have to delete all the ones so that I don't accidentally link it to the wrong one on Flickr. Because Flickr doesn't replace images. It's all its own URL. So you have to delete the ones first. Then you have to upload it so you know that there's none double, the wrong one you're going to link to. And then I have to link it again. And so last night, until I passed out, I was actually creating the page. I almost finished the whole page. I created the whole goddamn page with the wrong ones because I got ahead of myself. So I built the 1 through 10 and the 1 and 2000 and then the 2000s, and they're all in their own little table. So it's kind of a disaster. So not really. It'll gobble up a whole day. It'll gobble up one day. It'll take me all day to do that. But I'm also adjusting the location because, like I said, they're all maybe a little bit staggered, a little jagged. And I am zooming in and like kind of micro adjusting all of them again because I kind of rushed it the first time because I was just frustrated. I wanted to get it done. Yeah, and some of them, it rendered some of them not perfect, and you can see that stuff. Like, that's the problem. That's why it's really important to do it right the first time, because even though it's only 20 pixels, when you're on the website and you look over, even with my fucked up 50-year-old eyesight, I can see if the number isn't adjusted right, even though it's 20 pixels. And even if it's one of 10,000, I take one look at it and I can see. And so if it's perfect quality, I'm going to be happy with myself. And if I make boo-boos, I'm going to be pissed. So it's actually worth taking my time on this, because you build it once. And the idea is that they go on every single page. And I don't see any reason why it wouldn't go on every page on every website, not just my website, but because it's kind of like a new invention I'm doing. I've only seen it one other time, and I think it was on it was on one of those web pages that I get my history books from. It was like archive.org or I can't even remember. It's been so long. Where they would have just numbers. It wasn't color coded with blocks and numbers, but it was just these numbers. And it wasn't all of them. It was like every 10. You'd have like 600, and then like halfway down the page you'd see like 650, you know what I mean? But that was the only thing that I'd ever seen anything. And it was only on like one side. So I have it on both sides. They're all color coded. Little blocks of 20 pixels, which is the same exact size as a 20 pixel icon that I use on my site. So it's consistent, and it shows the number all the way to 10,000, and then I'll have the color coded border around it, so you know which myriad it is, so you can take it to 100,000. And that's my prediction, is that's exactly how big a lot of my books are. That's exactly how big Pliny is. So as soon as I build this, maybe tomorrow, I'll put it on Pliny and see what it looks like in Pliny, because I'm super curious. Because then you're like, it's a 10 myriad book, it's a 9 myriad book. Isn't that cool? Instead of calling it how big it is in pages, in words, because a web page, it's not just about the words. It's also about the images, and so they have different word per page density rates. So the one consistent thing is how long of a scroll down it is, which gives you an idea, and helps you compare the different sites, because that's what my website's all about. It's comparing everything. So I think it's a good idea, and it's worth it. So anyways, I got a trial for HBO and Stars, just because I've been overheating, and see a couple movies, and lo and behold, there's all these superhero movies. So I'm just like watching all the superhero movies. I saw Matrix, which I liked. I got the bait. People don't like the Matrix reboot because they didn't like that it was a reboot. But I think that's a great movie to reboot with the same actors, because it was just Neo realizing that his game was actually real. I thought that was trippy. The part where they fucked up was they had him kind of snap back into being Neo, but I guess whatever. I thought it was cool. And then they set it up for sequels, but I guess everybody hated it. But I think there's a lot you can do with sequels for that. Anyway, and then I got started with Shazam. I'm like halfway through Shazam or something, a fifth of the way through Shazam. I'll watch that. And then I got a little bit through Spider-Man, No Way Home, and Far From Home. I'll finish those. And then I'll finish Shazam. I saw Fast and Furious 9 last night. That's the only one that's for free, though. And then I'm going to see Aquaman. All these free movies, I love it. And then I'm going to see Dune with my mom. But I only have HBO for a week, so if my mom, like, dilly-dallies, then I'll just go ahead and see it by myself. But she wanted to see Dune. We drove all the way down to Red Rocks last year to see Dune, but it was canceled because of rain, and we didn't realize. So we went down there for nothing. But and then I want to see Dune 1984. That's on there. I don't actually watch the movies. I mean, I'm working the whole time, but with the peripheral of my vision, I can see it and hear it and stuff. And I do that. Yeah, I think I do that when I get frustrated and something's dragging out way too long. I kind of lose my ability to pay attention to what I'm listening to, and I just start doing brain candy stuff. That's why I need to smoke weed. And I might want to buy more weed. I'm like running out of weed. I don't want to run out. Oh, you know what? I'm going to buy more weed. Because that's not enough weed. That's not enough weed to last me the rest of the day. I can't get the light to shine in it. Yeah, you can't even see the weed. See? It's like $69 a weed. But I have like 300 or 200 something. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go in and get weed. Also right now, energy drink. Spend the rest of my cash on weed. The cash that I got from my car. Get an energy drink and maybe some snackies, and then come back here and fucking do that batch edit fix thing that I was gonna do. And I was gonna do it, but then I just forgot. Um, anyways, so that's what I'm up to today. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be putting the grid in Plenty, and then I'll put the link to Plenty. As soon as I build it, I'll put the link, and you can check it out. And I was talking to my mom this morning. Like I've had it with my mom. My patience is done, and I think my patience in general, like my losing patience with my mom, like it also causes me to lose patience with people in general. But I called my mom and I'm like, you want to go on a walk or a bike ride? And she's like, oh, I don't think so. It was rainy and cold. I don't really want to. And then she's like, so what are you doing on your website? And I was like, bitch, I didn't even tell her. I was like, you're a fucking idiot. Why in the fuck would I tell you? I mean, you don't even understand the concept. I would tell you the concept instead of tell you what I'm doing, but you don't even get that. So fuck you, fuck off. And so, what was the point? Why did I say that? Um, um, oh man, that was gonna lead into something. Anyways, oh right. I bet you not a single person is gonna have a single comment about my grid ever. Like until I'm done with the site. I had a person who commented. This is weird. I had a person who commented named Ben. Okay. He would comment on like every third or fourth of my videos. Okay, for the last year. Like he's like a super fan or something. And he like totally kissing my ass. I'm the Big Lebowski. I'm this. I'm that. So finally, and then he accused me of being homosexual. Like he wanted to come and fuck me or something. And I'm like, you old ass fucking Vietnam vet, motherfucker. And then he would say just annoying things here and there. And finally I was like, dude, if you're like my friend and you're into my website and you're kissing me ass on my website, like why have you never said anything about my website? Like I can't get a single person. I swear to God, hashtag Twilight Zone. I have never had anybody say anything about my website. So I was finally like, well, here's my opportunity to get a person to acknowledge that they went to my website because my mom can't do it. My mom's 81. She's out. She can't do it physically. Her brain, she's too retarded. So I go, hey, Benny boy, if you're some kind of a fucking super fan, why don't you say something about my website? I said a bunch of times, he never did it. So then I go, okay, go to my Coliseum. Go to my Google Earth Coliseum and say something about it. Look at it and say something about it. Like, mention what color the awning is. Mention something that you saw. For example, there's a rope. Mention the rope. Say that you saw a mosaic on the floor. You don't have to describe the mosaic. Just say, I saw a mosaic. Okay, but you can't say I saw the Colosseum. You have to say you saw something in the Colosseum. Like I looked at the sand on the bottom of the Colosseum. Anything. Say something about it, right? So he ignored me, right? The super fan ignores me. So then so I'm like, bitch, I'm going to lock your ass. I threatened him. So he goes, okay. He goes, I looked for 40 minutes on your website and I couldn't find it. Dude, it's on the front page of my website. You go to my education and you scroll down and you see an icon of a column of a Coliseum and you click on it and it downloads. Or you click on the Google Earth page and you click on it and it downloads. You'd have to be retarded. And for 40 minutes, you didn't bother to click on anything. So then I told him, well, just click on the goddamn icon or go to this page. I actually did a demo. I did a tutorial on my channel. I showed it. I filmed myself navigating around my site. So then he finally comments, ignores me, and I'm like, bitch, what are you saying about it? So he goes, oh yeah, I saw it. Oh, great, that you saw it. That's not my question. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I asked you to say something about it. Don't say you saw it. So you say something about it. So I'm like, I'm gonna block you if you don't say something about it, dude. So then, so then he comments back and he goes, hey, you should do a tutorial on your website and how to navigate your website. Number one, I already did that. Number two, he's ignoring me, and so I blocked his ass. Fucking blocked him. So I had one fan. Couldn't get the guy to say anything about my Coliseum. There are 8 trillion people on this planet. And I can't get a single person who watches my video to say a single thing about my website. I can't get a single person to comment and go, the background is blue. I can't get a person to go, you have color coded to the rainbow, or you have plenty on your website. I can't get a single person, including my ex-wife, because she doesn't even have internet. But she has internet on her phone, but somehow she doesn't want to go to my website if it's on her phone. And so I can't even get her to do it. Can't get my mom to do it. I'm not going to bother my roommate, and I'm not keeping in touch with people right now. So, like, I'm not stressed out about it, but it will get me stressed out if I start interacting with the person, and that person starts going Twilight Zone on me. You know, if you're going to interact with me, it has to be a two-way conversation. You know, I have to ask you a question, then you have to reply to me. Right? I have to be like, what color is the sand in the Colosseum? Hint, it's sand color. What's the answer? And then for you to go, oh yeah, I looked at the Colosseum. At least say sand color. What the fuck, man? So anyways, that's what I'm dealing with. Hopefully by tomorrow, I will be done putting that plenty inside of that grid. And then I'll put the link and nobody will ever even notice. I'm at the point where nobody has even read Plenty. Somebody wanted me to do a video about Cleopatra. People are so fucking retarded. All these black people think that Cleopatra was jet black like Wesley Snipes, when everybody and their dog knows that Cleopatra is part of the Ptolemy dynasty, which was the family of fucking Macedonians, Germans, fucking white people who took over Egypt. Where along the line did they ever have sex with a black person down in the southern Africa? What the fuck are you even talking about? And everybody's like, everybody knows that she was black. Why? Because it's Africa, motherfucker. Oh, what about history? What? What about history? Oh my God. So anyways, my website is, I was telling my mom my website's gonna take off. And it's kind of a race at this point. It's like, what's gonna arrive first? People's like need to learn history, or my website? I would prefer my website to get finished, so that by the time the people decide that they want to learn history, it's already there. You know, not people want to learn history, and I'm like, oh shit, and people are like, oh look at this stupid ass website that's not finished yet. You know what I mean? So yeah. So hopefully tomorrow, I'm hoping that by the end of tomorrow I'll have plenty inside. The computer might be slow, but I'll get it started. Maybe in 2 days it'll be done, but maybe hopefully by the end of the day I'll be done with those 10,000 little micro adjustments with the one number that got screwed up in the batch edit. Okay, enough talking. Talk to you tomorrow.